All right, good morning. Just going to do a quick audio check. Make sure the audio's good. All right, audio seems good. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got here. Kind of show you guys here where we are at today. So we are currently in step 2 of the top step 50K challenge. You can see balance at 50,978. So the goal is 3,000 in profit. So we're a little over $2,000 away from that. Average winning day 326. Worst day 240. Best day 413. So really the goal is maybe by the end of next week to finish this challenge and be funded. Not going to rush it though. If not, then we will get there eventually. Already got a couple levels marked out this morning. We are opening up with a gap to the upside here. So we closed yesterday at the 14,410 on the NQ. And you can see we're down here at the 14,330s. So we have about, 75, 80 point gap to the downside. So could get a move up here at open. The ES also has a gap to the downside. We're hanging around at 41.95. And closed yesterday at 42.16. So nice little gap to the downside on the ES as well. 41.88 is going to be a key area today on the ES. If we can't hold that 41.88 level, I think we sell back into the 60s. If we can hold the 41.88 level, we probably see the 42.20 today on the ES. Nasdaq, a very similar setup here. If we can't hold this 300 level, we're probably going to sell back into the low 200s. But if we can hold this 300 level, I think we probably fill the gap to the upside. So only time will kind of tell here. These gaps definitely like to be filled, so something to just be aware of at open. We do have news coming out today at 9:45 and at 10 a.m. 9:45, we have a 2 out of 3 rating news event. So I'm not sure how much that'll move the market. But at 10 a.m., we do have a 3 out of 3. It's the jobs. I think it's the jobless claims, or I don't know. Something to do with jobs. That should get us some volatility there. So the first 15 minutes, we're going to kind of be patient, see what happens. I might test out a little bit different of a strategy this morning. Normally I have my take profit at 300. Today I'm thinking that I may trade 2 contracts on the first scalp in the first 15 minutes and only risk 100 per contract. So still risking the same amount, $200. Would only have a 5 handle stop, looking for a 7 or 8 handle move. So I think that's kind of what I'm going to do this morning. So if we do take a trade, we're going to use 2 contracts, just looking for 165 per contract to get us our $300. We'll risk $200 to get that done. And then we'll change that back to 300, take profit with 200 stop loss, and only use 1 contract beyond that. So this kind of, it shortens the number of points that we need to get the money that we're looking for. It also leaves me the option to move 1 to break even and kind of move the take profit up if I think it's going to continue higher or lower. So we'll kind of see how that works this morning. Again, we're only going to take 1 trade in the first 15 minutes, and then we'll wait for that second or the first 15-minute candle to close and look for the breakout or the breakdown, and then beyond that, we'll be looking for the ICT silver bullet. So kind of see what happens. That's kind of what we're looking for. We got about 6.5 minutes till open, so let's just be patient and wait. you look at the trend on the 15-minute chart here, it definitely looks like a downward. We're in a downward trend. I mean, you can see here, just since yesterday afternoon, just down, down, down. Kind of bounced this morning at 2 a.m. Made a little move up, but then continued down. You know, lower high, possibly a lower high. Might get a bounce here at open, though. We'll see what happens. But something to kind of be aware about. Looks like we got... Yeah, we have that pivot to the downside at the 14,300 on the Nasdaq, on the NQ. And then the ES looks like there's a pivot at the 95 level. Yeah. So we're just below the pivot on the, or right at the pivot on the ES. And we got a ways to go on the Nasdaq. So, like I said, I think that 14,300 level is going to be key today on the NQ. So we're just going to be aware about the gap to the upside today. See if we start to push it open. Maybe we can jump in for the move up. All right, just about 3 minutes to go here until the market opens. Like I said, we may get some choppy action here at open. We do have that news today after all. 9:45 and 10 a.m. I don't usually like when the news is at 9:45. I don't mind the 10 a.m. one, but the 9:45 usually, you know, makes it a little more difficult. All right, just about 2 minutes till the market opens here. Again, like I said, let's see what happens here at this 300 area, 14,300. If we move above the 20 SMA and we start heading towards the VWAP here, we may take a long to try to ride it up to the VWAP. So, but we're going to be patient here and see what we get, see what price action offers us. All right, let's see what happens here at open. Just about 40 seconds here before the market opens. All right, let's see what we get here. Kind of thinking we might get a bounce here. but it might want to pull back and test that 300 level first. And the market is officially open. Break above that 40 level, I might get long. All right, going to go ahead and take a long here. Long 2, looking for 49.25 here. Having a little bit of trouble right there at the 40s. Looking for this to continue to push up here. Try to be patient, risking $200 here. Oh, actually, for whatever reason, this doesn't have... Not quite sure what's going on here. Hold on one second. Let's see here. I'm going to exit that trade for whatever. I didn't have my stop loss set up properly here. Or maybe I used the wrong one. I don't know. Let's see. All right. I guess I used the wrong one there. And we got stopped out on one already. All right. Kind of got stopped out there on, that was kind of a negligible trade. I got long there, trying to get long at the 40, and realized that it had my stop loss at $400 instead of $200. I could have just manually moved it, but I exited the trade. Not quite sure why I did it that way, but anyways, and then it stopped me out for one of the contracts for a loss of $90, and then I got the push back up on the second contract and got the 155. So if I would have had the second contract, if it didn't get stopped out there on the second contract, we would have got the full fill there, but that's all right. So anyways, up $62 after that. Volatility was a little bit crazy there for the 5-handle stop loss there. Moved right up to the VWAP and kind of rejected. See the ES try to push up there to the 4,200 level. Then it rejected. Still pushing here. I'm not sure if that 2-contract strategy was a very good one, to be honest with you now looking back. Probably should have just stuck to the single contract. Would have been long at the 40. Looking for 55. Would have got filled there for 15 points. So that's okay. You know, it's not, it doesn't hurt anything to try something out. So that's what we were doing there. So we're going to go back to our normal take profit setup here. Got what we were looking for. We had the right idea on it, but just didn't really capitalize on it. But that's okay. Sometimes that's just going to be the case. Pushing above the VWAP here now. Maybe trying to go for this gap fill. Get the gap up here to the 410 area. ES is not pushing up. It's actually pulling back, pulled back to the 93, that 93 area. If we get above the VWAP here, then we may look for an entry, even though, that is kind of against my rules there. But I'm not so sure that we will, considering the ES is retesting this 92 level. You see the ES did not have the momentum that the Nasdaq did. It rejected before it ever got to the VWAP here, and retesting the 92 here. Possibly a rejection there because the ES approached the whole number at 4,200. As you can see, that whole number, psychological area. NQ kind of pulling back now. Yeah, that was a pretty big mistake on my part there. I should have just manually adjusted my stops. Should have just manually moved them up instead of just closing the trade and re-entering, because I got a worse re-entry there. I guess not too bad. 41.75. No, wait. The re-entry was at 44.50, so 4.5 handles above where I was. My original entry. Nasdaq looking a little stronger than the ES here. The NQ's trying to push above the VWAP. Dollar is kind of stair-stepping down here. Pushing above the VWAP again here on the NQ. Kind of got to get above this 82 area, 83 area to possibly get that move back up into the 400s and into the 410s. All right, moving above VWAP again here on the NQ. Kind of got to get above this 70 level. Might push up into the 82, 83 to take out those relatively equal highs there. Got this liquidity resting up here at this 80s area. Got these relatively equal highs. Might blast through here pretty quickly. I know this is, I'm not supposed to take another trade here, but this looks like it's trying to go here. All right, we're going to take a quick scalp through these 80s here. Stops at break even. Well, move the stop to break even pretty quickly there because I thought it might reject, and it did. But that's all right. So we got stopped out there for break even. Still looks like it's wanting to break through those 80s there, but now she's getting on up through there, taking out that liquidity. All right, I think I'm going to try to take a long here for this move up to the 1400 level. Should be able to get this move up to the 400 level. Might get stopped out here, looks like. Do got that news coming out in 3 minutes. I took a loss there. $200 trying to get that move up. I probably should have moved my stop on down a little further, but didn't want to risk anymore. Kind of broke my rule there. Took a second trade in the first 15 minutes. But I'm sure it's going to pop this 400 level. Yeah. So we are down 147 after that $200 loss. So we really need to make sure this next trade is a solid entry. Shouldn't have really been into that trade. I had the right idea. You know, the first entry where I moved my stop too quickly. If I had not moved my stop there, we would have been all right. Wouldn't have been stopped out. We got news here in 2 minutes, so let's just wait for this news to come out. Be patient. Let's take a look at the ES here. Kind of made it back up to the VWAP. I really want to take another long here for this kind of breakout back above 400, but we've got this news coming out, which may or may not do anything, to be honest. I think if the ES can make it through the VWAP, we'll push the Nasdaq up with it here. Just kind of watching this 90 level. News in 10 seconds, so let's see what happens. All right, there's the news. That was just a 2 out of 3 star event, so sometimes it doesn't do much. ES kind of rejecting that area. All right, now we're going to take it again. Look for this gap fill here. Going to move my stop to break even here. Hopefully it doesn't pull back on me. And of course it does. Come on. Moving the stop too soon here. May just re-enter. Being too impatient, moving my stop there. Got to get through that 400 level strong. Really needs the ES to break through that VWAP and continue up. Major rejection there on the ES. Certainly getting some volatility there. All right, we're going to try it one more time. This push through. Try to get this entire gap fill if we can. I'm going to risk a little bit more on this trade because of the volatility that we're getting. See if we can get this push through for this gap fill all the way to the 410s. Try to be patient on this trade if I can get the full push up here for the gap fill. Holy cow. Look at that volatility there. I have to manually exit this one if it starts pulling back further. Need to get this push up quickly here to the 410s. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move my stop to break even. No, I'm long. And there we are. And there we are. There's the patience that I needed to show on the first entry. We got that full gap fill there. Made $300 on that trade. Had I not done this sloppiness here, broke my rule. If I would have just stuck with my first trade in the first 15 minutes, if I not broke my rule, then we would certainly be at our goal already, but that's okay. We showed patience there. We knew that we were going to get the gap. Well, we didn't know. We were fairly certain that we were going to get that gap fill, and we got it. So now we're up $143 on the day. We got news coming out in 12 more minutes, and it's going to, we should have some better action beyond that news. So let's kind of be careful here and see what happens. ES just completely rejected the VWAP and is just moving all the way back down to the low of day, trying to retest this 92 level. Kind of battling here this morning, and it's not the type of trading I like to do. So I'm going to be very, very patient for the rest of the morning here. Still, obviously, we need one more trade to get our goal, but we're not trading our P&L. We're just going to be looking for the setups and take them as we see them. So. Yeah, if the ES doesn't hold this 88 level, I think if it breaks 88, we're definitely going to start to sell down, and it might bring the Nasdaq with it. So let's see here. Yeah, if the ES doesn't hold that 4188 level, we're probably going to see that 4177, 4166 level, looks like. Guess we could go ahead and mark out our first 15 minutes candle there. Although with this news coming out, I'm not quite sure how much I will trust it. So that's your first 15-minute range. Oh, wait. Yeah, on the ES. And then the NQ. Let's kind of put this 15-minute range something like that for the NQ. So with this news coming out at 10, I'm not quite sure how much I will use this 15-minute range, but we have it on here just, just for reference. ES is right in the middle of the range. Nasdaq's at the top of the range. Yeah. So let's just take it easy here for the next, I don't know, what is it, 8 minutes. Well, we didn't make our $300 goal today in the first 3 minutes like we did yesterday. Such a disappointment. Such a disappointment. Obviously, that doesn't happen every day, but honestly, I did kind of overtrade this open. I took those 2 trades on the move up beyond VWAP that I don't want to say I shouldn't have taken, but I do have that 1 trade in the first 15-minute rule, and I'm not really counting that first trade that I entered because I exited that one because of the stop loss when I could have just manually moved it. But these trades up here at the top, that one where I just took it off at break even, and then that one where I lost $200, certainly should not have been entering those trades. So, and if I am entering those trades, I have to have a little bit of a wider stop loss, especially early in the day. So rejected at the top of that range there on the Nasdaq. Let's see what the ES is doing. ES moving out of the bottom of the range here. ES is, I think I might wait on the ES, possibly take a trade on the ES if it breaks 88. Got a lot of support here between 92 and 88 on the ES, so I'm going to wait for the, try to wait for the numbers, but if the ES does break out of this range, we might still take an entry on it. Just trying to display some patience this morning. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this microphone so it doesn't look crazy. Kind of keep it close to my mouth. I realize that in my market replays, sometimes you can hear me really well and sometimes you can't, because when I turn my head, for whatever reason, I guess the microphone just doesn't pick up as well. So just trying to move it here so I can keep a nice volume for you guys. Got 4 minutes for this news to come out. Would certainly expect some volatility once this news comes out here. ES is trying to move out of the bottom of the range here. But again, like I said, I'm not going to take that trade unless it breaks through 88. If it breaks through 88 strong, we'll try to ride that down to the mid-70s, possibly. All right, let's see what happens here with these numbers coming out. About 2.5 minutes. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. Share the video if you like. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate it. See what happens once these numbers come out. Sometimes it's so weird about the news. Some news just makes the market just make huge moves, to blast off or blast down, and in other news, nothing happens. So that 9:45 news really didn't get much of action there. A little pullback, but not much to speak of. Possibly get this move back into the 68 level on the Nasdaq before it starts to move higher. We do have a small fair value gap here at the 68 level, if you see it there. Can kind of mark it out. It's not a very big gap by any means, but right in there. Let's see. That kind of gap there. Might get a trade back into that gap for the move higher. Don't really have any gaps to speak of here on the ES. We did have one there, but we traded right through it. ES trying to break out here, break down. So it's a high probability it could bring the NQ with it. All right, got about 30 seconds here for these numbers to come out. All right, let's see what we get here. 15 seconds to go. Possible volatility incoming. There comes the numbers. You see the ES moving down here. See if the ES holds this 92 level and then moves back up. ES down to 91.75 here, kind of holding that 92 level. Made a new low at 90.75. You can see the NQ kind of bouncing right out of that fair value gap that we outlined there. Could just be a bump in the road for it, though. Also do have the VWAP right there at the fair value gap. All right, getting this pull through. Let's pull back. The ES holds this 90 level here. That we really need it to hold this 88 to 90 level. Otherwise, we might get a waterfall move just to the downside. Just gotta have to be aware of that. ES still holding up at 92. Nasdaq still holding up at the VWAP. ES is actually below the 20 SMA and below the VWAP here. Nasdaq still above both of those. So Nasdaq trying to pop out of it. Could possibly look for a long back over this 90 level if we push up strong on the Nasdaq. But we got a bit of a divergence here. The Nasdaq's pushing and the ES is not. See if the ES starts to push here. Bounced right off that 90 level. Holding strong at 90. Dollar's just pumping up here. Might just wait for this breakout or breakdown here on the Nasdaq, on the NQ. Still trading in the center of the range. ES is at the bottom of the range trying to break down. I just know there's a lot of support between 88 and 90 here, so there's no point in taking a short without us breaking that key support. ES is trying to move down. Getting held up there. If we get the Nasdaq move below the VWAP and then break through that 20 SMA, then we may move back down to the low of day there at the 315 area. But really just depends on what goes on here with the ES. All right, NQ trying to move up here. Trying to move up. ES moving with it. ES approaching the 20 SMA. If it breaks out of this range, may look for the high of day here. Really need to get the ES moving above the VWAP. Let's see here. What do we got? So we got the 20 SMA at 95 on the ES. Kind of just going high to high there, just seeing if we get this breakout. Need both to kind of start showing some strength here. So like I said, you can use this 15-minute breakout, but you can also use different strategies. I'm just putting a little trend line on here to indicate a breakout. ES just tested 88, 89 there. Keeps bouncing in that area. The longer it kind of takes to get through there, the more of a chance I think it just bounces and continues higher. All right, ES testing the 89 level again here. Just keeps bouncing off that area. Testing 90. See if it can hold this 88 area or not. I think if it loses 88, then probably going to get that move down into the low 70s, maybe high 60s, somewhere in there. NQ's losing the VWAP here and testing the SMA now. I'm watching the ES here. If the ES loses 88, then I'm probably going to take a short on the NQ here. The only reason is on the NQ, I think you got a little more room to run here. Lose 88, maybe move down into the 77 area, then possibly down into the 60, 65, 66 range. Okay, Nasdaq starting to move down. Watching the ES here. It's holding that 89 area. Don't want to be the first one to the party here on this short. So let's just give it a second. All right, let's take another look at the ES here. It's out of the range, but it's holding this level. Holding this 80 level, 89. Got to break through there strong, and then I think the NQ will just kind of waterfall with it as well. So just watching both to see what happens here. They're finally starting to kind of get in sequence with one another. NQ might start leading the way here, but I was thinking that we needed the ES to kind of get going to the downside here to bring it with it. Could possibly take a short if we trade back up into this 65 area, kind of turn this VWAP into resistance. That could potentially be an entry. Or you could even enter right here at the 20 SMA since we are kind of breaking through there. But all right, ES testing 88. The low's now 88 and a quarter. Or actually 88 flat. Testing 88 here. NQ trying to move down. All right, I'm going to take a short. We broke through on the. I'll give this a little more room too. I'm going to risk a little bit more here. We broke through. Well, for the moment, the ES broke through and then it kind of bounced. That's why I'm giving this a little bit more room here. Give it a second to kind of push back through. Just looking for $200 here. If we can get it. All right, stop's going to be at break even now. Since we're above $100 there. I'll move my stop down to $40.65. I mean, we're going to get the breakthrough here, I'm certain, but I don't know. I didn't want to hold through it. Probably going to end up being a mistake there. Probably should not have moved the stop down. I think break even would have been fine. His entry was 43.75. ES is moving down now, although it's down to 86. This is certainly going to continue down. I hate to re-enter. Should not have moved my stop there. And there we go. Just continuing to waterfall down without me. I almost want to re-enter here, but we do have a bit of resistance here at this level. We may try to take some sort of scalp to the low a day here. Let's see here. See if this thing offers us another entry. I hate that I moved my stop there too quickly. I mean, from 43 down to 27, I would have got my full fill there, but we moved it. So can't complain too much about it. See if we get this break out of this range. Yes, it's all the way down to 85 at this point. All right, let's try to take a short here, see if we can get this moved down to the low a day. I'm going to move my stop up a bit here. Trying to get this pushed through. Should get a push through here pretty quickly, I would imagine. And of course, this is a part of my problem. Enter the trade where I should be entering it, and then I move my stop. Then I get down here and it starts to bounce on me because I re-entered. We're going to put the stop where it's supposed to be, so Risking $200. If we get stopped, we just get stopped and we'll be back even on the day. Let's see if this thing will just continue to waterfall down here. I mean, I know it should take out this liquidity down here, but it may pop before it does it, and it may stop me out here. Trying to be a little bit patient with it. Let's see, ES is trying to make new lows here. Well, there you go, got stopped out. Punished for, basically entering here, moving my stop too quickly. This is what happens when you don't follow your plan. You have a trade plan and you don't follow it, you get punished. So, there you go. And of course, it stopped me out, and we all know what happens next. All right, we're going to try it one more time here. Stops at break even here. We're just going to take it off there for a quick little $175. Could have got more. It's breaking out of that 15-minute window there now. Well, you can see here, this is part of my problem. I mean, I take this loss here. My stop really should be up here, but I didn't want to risk that much. And then it just ends up kind of punishing me there for not putting my stop where it really needs to be. ES is continuing to move down here. ES, kind of a much cleaner setup here on the ES. I didn't want to take this breakdown because of the 88 level. Kept tapping. Finally made it through there. So if you're short from the 88, 87 level here, you're approaching your 5 handles now. And if you were brave enough to get short, maybe on this retest of the 94 level. And there we go. We continue the breakout of the breakout here of the 15-minute range. Do have a pivot right here at the 300, so we have the whole number and a pivot both resting here at the 300s. Not very happy with my trading this morning. I've kind of taken too many trades. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades. Normally I'm taking 6 or 7 trades in the entire day. I've taken 8 trades just this morning alone with the afternoon still to go. Feel pretty fortunate to be up the $180 that I'm up, to be honest. So, quite okay with it. Could have possibly taken a short entry on that move back up right there to the 15 level. Retest of the 15-minute range. ES is waterfalling. It's all the way down to the 81.75. So, like I said, I think we see that 77 level on the ES. Might have been a cleaner setup there to take on the ES, but really, if you played the SMA breakdown, which, is what I was considering, I waited for confirmation. Got short there at 43, and, moved all the way down to the 95s. Just have to display more patience. I have to be more patient in those areas. There's no need to move my stop there. There's really no need. I took $65 when that should have been I don't know, 40 handle move, which, you're looking at $600. Instead, that's a net loss because, well, maybe not a net loss. I took 180, 245, but then I took a $200 loss. So $55 net winner. Not very much. Certainly not $600. But that's all right. Kind of retesting this 15-minute range here on the NQ. The ES is bouncing up a little bit. Let's kind of take a look and see where this might trade back up into. So it looks like this gap might be your 50% retracement. So probably would use this one above it. So if you were going to get a move back up, kind of a move back to the VWAP, would be what you were looking for there. Let's look on the ES. Not very many gaps on the 3-minute chart on the ES, actually just one small one. If we're looking at the 5-minute chart on the NQ here, maybe a possible move back up into the 14,336 area. Let's see where that would be in relation to that. Yeah, that's still a ways below this gap here. So right around that 14,350 area is probably going to be your entry if we get a little bit of a move back up. Retesting this 14,300 level again here on the NQ. If you can get through there strong, get a little more move down. ES is still moving down pretty heavy here. Would expect some resistance on the ES in the 77 area, and then beyond that, maybe it'll move down to 66. You got a pivot at 76 on the ES there. So 76 pivot on the ES. Possible trade back up into, let's see, the 87 area. So you do have a small gap here. So if you're looking for an entry on the ES for the fair value gap entry, you would possibly get a move back up into this area. Obviously, if it kind of hits that 77 area first, then that would kind of be ideal. Trying not to FOMO into this move down any more than I've already done. So just kind of giving it some time here. All right, you can see the ES traded all the way down to that pivot at 76.25 and kind of bounced there. Nasdaq is also continuing to move down. We broke through the 300 level strong there. Let's kind of see where the next resistance might be on the Nasdaq. Actually, that 69 area. So 42.69 could see some resistance on the NQ. Kind of trading into a breaker block there, order block. Getting a little bit of a push up here, bouncing off that pivot on the ES. Don't really want to be chasing it down here at the bottom. While I would like to, get one more winner in to secure my daily profit total, it's not necessary to actually get it this morning. We have all day. There's a lot of time. So it looks like the ES, if the Bulls want to get back in control here, the ES is going to need to kind of bounce off this pivot level and push through this fair value gap here and kind of reclaim the 90, 93 area to get above that 20 SMA. Otherwise, they're going to lose this area and going to move all the way down to 66. So, NQ back up to that pivot at 300, 14,300 level. If we can hold it down, if it holds this 14,300 level, then you may get a continuation move back down into the 60s. See, that was a pretty big sell-off this morning. I mean, this is just, all the way from filled the gap first thing this morning, opened up, filled the gap, and then just pulled all the way back down to the low of day. So in hindsight, you can say, oh, it should have got short up here and covered down here. But I can assure you in real time it's much more difficult than that. Didn't quite make it back up to this gap here, or to this 15-minute range. The ES is trying to move back down. Just bounced up a little bit, and then now it's trying to continue down. Got to get through that pivot, 76 pivot on the ES. Dollar kind of moving down here. It made a big move up, and now it's trying to stair step down here. So probably going to get some consolidation in this area, I would imagine. Nothing wrong with a little consolidation. Once you start getting the consolidation, I mean, same thing with these breakouts. You can see I drew this trend line earlier, and we've held it. And all you're doing is just high to high, straight down with the trend. If it breaks out here, you could take a long, but Same thing kind of on this trend line. You would need to move it down. Adjust it for that high there. There we go. So the ES kind of breaking out of that downward trend. Got a bit of a market structure shift here. So if we're looking for kind of the, I'm sorry, this is the NQ. If we're looking for kind of the ICT silver bullet setup, then you would, we took out the low a day, so this is a key low, and then you would look for just a structure shift back to the upside and possibly look for an entry. So in this case, we'd like to see a nice big boner candle up here, trade back into it, and continue higher. Yes, boner candle is a thing. That's a strong word, boner candle. Kind of breaking out of this trend here. Could take this long. ES is not doing the same though. With such a strong downtrend, you really want to see, some confirmation before you decide to do something like that. Hold on, sounds like somebody's at my door. I'm going to go check it out. I'll be right back. All right, I didn't see anybody. Must just be the dog barking at nothing. Dog's just barking at nothing. I don't know. All right, as you can see, the NQ kind of broke out of that trend line there, but it was kind of a fake out because you can see the ES never really did it. So, like I said, I'm not going to take a trade down here at the bottom. So, just going to wait and see what happens. Didn't really trade up into any significant gap or anything like that either for a possible entry. If the ES does not hold the 76 level here, then I think we see 66 pretty quickly. All right. Well, at this point, we're just going to kind of be sitting here waiting for the next opportunity. See what presents itself. Really, this 15-minute breakdown trade would have worked pretty well, too. If you get short down here at the 95s, moved all the way down to the 74, so that would have been a nice little 20-handle winner. Or you could have even waited for it to retest this range up here at 13 or 14,314 for the move all the way down to 14,274. I mean, trading in hindsight is a heck of a lot easier than doing it in real time, I can tell you that. In real time, it's tough to hit that button, and sometimes you hit the button when you probably shouldn't. All right, it's retesting this 76 area on the ES, making new lows here all the way down to the 75s. Like I said, I believe this is going to move all the way down to the 66 here pretty quick. I don't see how the Nasdaq doesn't retest the 74 area now that the ES is trying to make new lows here. ES made new lows. Now it's trying to turn that pivot point back into resistance, hanging out at the pivot point, 76 and a quarter. So now it just made it back above it. So still kind of bouncing here. Nasdaq hanging out below the pivot at 14,300. So I think if the Nasdaq starts moving down here, retest the 74 area, then you're probably going to get the same happen on the ES. Running into some resistance here, that's for sure. Both the NQ and the ES are at these pivot points. So NQ kind of turning the 300 level into resistance. We did break above it a little bit, but now we're holding below it. So possible move down to the 74 again here pretty quickly. I know you guys hear my dog in there barking, but there's not much we can do about it. He's got a mind of his own. He doesn't care that we're in here streaming. He just doesn't care. You can see we broke out of this trend here. Then we're just kind of getting some consolidation in this area. Can kind of redraw the trend line here to represent this consolidation. Let's take a look at the ES, still holding up here at the 76 area. Really need a nice strong move below 75. Get the ES below that pivot. Continue to get that move down. Possible bounce zone here too, so you kind of have to be careful. If we don't get this strong move below 75, then possibly a bounce area. Just kind of hanging out at the pivots here. Not much to do. Just kind of get some consolidation here before the next leg down. Maybe on both. Little consolidation. See how this continued, tried to go down, but see all these wicks kind of indicating it just doesn't have the power to get through there. So maybe, like I said, maybe just get some consolidation in this zone until possibly get the next move down. Would be nice to get some sort of move back up on the ES or the NQ in order to kind of offer another entry. The ES want to really get above that 4190 level. Get to that 4190 level, it could offer a short entry. That would be trading back up into a 5-minute fair value gap, which we can outline here. That would also be the 50% kind of retracement. Well, I guess it helps if I'm on the right chart. Yeah, that would be your 50% retracement there as well. Trade back up into this area here. Possibly. We'll go back over to the 3-minute chart because that's the one I like to watch. But that we'll put that gap there. That's kind of your 50% retracement on this move down. So I mean, possibly if it makes it through this gap, then we would look at this one for our discount or for our premium for this short. So it's going to want to trade back up into a premium or a discount. Naturally, that's just how the market moves. On your NQ here, I don't remember if we did. I think we did the fibs on this one. Let's look at it again, kind of see what the 50% would be. So yeah, right here at this gap, so at this 20 SMA area. So we can just kind of drag this gap down, drag this one down here. That's the gap we would be looking at for a retracement on the Nasdaq. For your possible silver bullet setup, you'd be looking for an entry back up here in the 334 area. Stop at the 54. So you'd have to be risking 20 handles for, a possible 50 handle move down. I'm going to go ahead and take this 5-minute off here, or the first 15-minute candle. We're going to take that one off. Let's change back over to the 3-minute. We'll take it off here as well. So we've already used it, so there's no point in it being on there anymore. So just can kind of be patient here. If we don't get a move back up into this area for the move back down, then we'll wait for the afternoon and see what happens then. This is the part of trading where you just wait. Probably should have did a little more waiting this morning. Let's analyze our trades. This trade was okay. Like I said, I should have had my full $300 on this trade because I was long from 39.50. End up getting in again, 5 handles higher. So you're looking at, with 2 contracts, that's $200 extra. So that would have been my $300 target there. Then I decided to jump back in up here for the break of the VWAP, which really entry should have been somewhere in the 67, 68 area for the break above the high of this candle. Instead, we get in at 76. We get stopped out for break even. And we say, hey, let's just jump in again. We move our stop too quickly on this trade. Let's just jump in again, and we promptly lose $200. There you go. Then we see that it's continuing higher. It's going to fill the gap. We see the gap up here. That's what that line outlines. So we jump in again, and we do eventually get the $300 trade there to get back to even, or plus about 140, 150. Then once again, we move our stop too quickly. We get short here, move our stop too quickly, take $65. We try to jump back in. We get FOMO and we chase it, and we lose 195. We jump back in again, move our stop down too quickly again, and we get $95. And that's where we stand, up 180. So kind of broke a couple of the rules this morning. Going to have to reanalyze and just do better tomorrow with holding the trades, do better this afternoon. You know, that's part of the reason I'm doing this YouTube channel, so I can go back and look and hold myself accountable, try to make better decisions. All right, we're starting to get a little move back up on the ES here and on the Nasdaq. Let me mute this for a minute and yell at this dog again. All right, let me see here. Kind of getting a push back up on the NQ and the Nasdaq. Oh, wait, the NQ is the Nasdaq. What am I talking about? The ES. Not as strong of a move back up on the ES as we're getting on the Nasdaq, but both are certainly trying. Guys, I'm an idiot. I marked this as a green fair value gap instead of a red one. Don't know why I didn't notice that. I did it on all of these. And no one corrected me. All right. That's better. So the idea here is if we get a trade back up into this gap, possibly take a short for the move back down. Man, we are getting some nice volatility here. Nice moves back up. Now, obviously, I'm going to be patient here. If it trades through this gap, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to enter at the beginning of the gap here. We're going to give it a minute and see how it reacts, how price reacts to that gap. Because we are getting a market structure shift to the upside with a fair value gap here forming. So you really want to be careful and see which one, which one's going to use. Is it going to respect this potential bullish fair value gap that we're working on here? Or is it going to tap into this one and just kind of turn back down? That's the question. Because technically this is a market structure shift, and that's what you're looking for. ES isn't really making the same move. So kind of testing the 20 SMA here. So we're working on this fair value gap right here, 3-minute fair value gap. Let's see if See if we get it. Like I said, it's going to be trading into a bearish fair value gap that I got outlined there on the chart. So let's kind of see how price reacts to that. Moving through the 20 SMA now. Let's look at the ES. ES is also stair-stepping up. Not quite as strong. No gap formed there on the 3-minute chart. Don't see one on the 2-minute chart either. 1-minute chart. Let's see. No gap on the 1-minute chart as well. Switch back over to the NQ here, see what we got going. So you can see we got about 50 seconds left on this candle here. So let's see if it leaves this gap open. I believe it probably will, so we're going to go ahead and put it in there. We'll adjust the shape and size if we need to. "25 seconds until this candle closes." So I guess if this trades back down into this gap, we could potentially take a long here for the move up to this next gap here. But let's see, stop would be basically at the 300. You need almost a 20 handle stop on this move. Ideally, what we might want to see here is maybe let it trade through this gap without revisiting this one first, but probably not going to get that. Do have a fair value gap, a bearish one on the 2-minute chart in that 33 area. So let's see how price reacts to the to this fair value gap here. ES finally starting to make a move up as well, approaching the 20 SMA. All right, let's see how price reacts to this this gap here. See if we just move through it, or if we trade back out of it, if we trade into it and then kind of reject it back to this level. Kind of the difficult part of these setups is that, you know, you can kind of make an argument for either way. So we definitely have a market structure shift here. We broke this swing high here. We created a fair value gap. So, you know, are we going to respect any of these gaps on the way down? I don't know. Looks like we do have a order block right here as well. We have a bullish order block. I don't know. I think I may take a long entry here at the beginning of this gap here. So I think if it trades down, we're going to go ahead and try it. We'll take a long entry, and stop will be down here. So we're tagged in here. Really just going to be looking for, you know, this 30 area. See if we can't get a quick move up. If this starts to turn down pretty quickly here, then we'll know we're just off sides. Not liking the look of it right now. Trying to be a little patient with it here. All right, I'm going to venture to guess that we are just offsides there, and I'm going to go ahead and close that one. So it looks like we're still going to be bearish here. Thinking about going ahead and switching my bias to short, since we're holding below this SMA. All right, let's go ahead and enter short here. Try to get this full move down. Stop is at break even. Gonna break through this 300 area strong. May keep continuing to move my take profit down. All right, stopped out there. Kind of sucks. Keep moving my take profit down. I realize we're at this pivot, and it's going to kind of probably take a little bit to get through there. So maybe I'll wait for us to break through this pivot strong. So I'm happy that I closed the long position there. Saved myself a little money on that because I had my stop down here at the 299. Would have definitely gotten stopped out. So probably should have paid attention that we got the pivot there at 300. I forgot about that. I should have just taken my profit at 300. I was thinking we might get a push through nice and strong, though. Let's see if we get a push through 95 strong. We'll probably take another entry. This didn't quite make it to that premium, so this could trade back up. I mean, it was a couple of ticks from it. On the 2-minute chart, actually looks like it might have touched it. So we get this move down here, strong below, we'll say 92. Then we'll take a short, trying to ride down to the low a day here, possibly. Let's see if we get tagged in here for this move down. Got to get through here strong, though. This will be our last trade of the morning, win or lose. So if we lose on this trade, we'll be down 250. That will be our last trade of the morning. If we win on this trade, we will be close to our target of $300. So let's see what happens. All right, we are tagged in. Kind of bouncing here, which I don't like all that much. Need to just continue selling off here. ES is moving back down to the low a day itself as well. Down to 79.25. Might get stopped out here, looks like. May actually just target this 85 area. Actually, let's take it lower than that. 82 area. We're going to go ahead and move our stop to, what is that, 60. So we can't lose on this trade now. All right, not exactly happy with these last few trades, to be honest with you, but kind of is what it is. Moving my stop too quickly here, as you can see. Took $80 on that trade, 60 on this one. Would have left my stop where it needed to be, and this is, you know, just kind of in hindsight, obviously. Let's see here. Still trying to watch that move through 74 here. See what the ES is doing. It's at 77, trying to make a new low. Hasn't got there yet. NQ trying to bounce here. ES back up to 78. May try to re-enter here for this move through the low a day there. No. Well, just trying to watch the ES here and see if it will potentially make a new low a day, but it's kind of bouncing here as well. We are beyond the 11 a.m. hour, which I don't typically like trading beyond that, so... All right, maybe we turn this 300 level into kind of resistance here. Let's see what happens here. All right, kind of getting a little pop back up here. I'd like it to make it to that fair value gap, kind of turn that into resistance, possibly to that 20 SMA. Might take an entry off this 20 SMA here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a short here. Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to move that box. Kind of just looking for the bottom of this here candle. If it breaks above the all right, we're going to move this to break even here pretty quickly, just to, we don't want to lose, so looking to get this move down. Well, stop me out there. That's going to be my last trade for the morning. I can just feel myself entering trades that I shouldn't be entering, over trading. So we're up $37 on the morning session. Honestly, it should be a lot more than that. But when you don't follow your rules, you tend to get punished there. But that being said, we will be back today at 2:30. I might jump in at 2 o'clock. We'll see. We'll see what the market's looking like. But we may start the stream at 2 o'clock and trade right through to the end of the day. Looking for a nice setup. Man, I'm just frustrated because I don't see how it leaves this liquidity down here. But there is this, order block right here. You could be a long entry off that order block, but this thing just does not look like it wants to start moving back up. So let's take a look at our statistics today so far. They're not going to be great, I can assure you. So we took 17 trades, which 2 of the trades were with 2 contracts, so that doesn't count. So really 15 trades, 10 winners, 5 losers. Total profit $900. Total losses $785. Gross P&L $115. After fees $37. So not a great morning. But that's the thing, you trade, you learn, you come back, you try to do better the next time. So that's the plan. And as you can see here, what are we doing? We're moving right back down. I literally moved my stop way too fast there. Now I almost want to take a stab at this low. Already stabbed at it a couple times and just not happened. All right, let's take it. We're going to put our take profit at the low a day. So exactly 10 handles, and we are going to risk 10 handles, and you can see it's popping. It's popping. Breaking the rules. We're probably going to get punished here. Maybe not, but possibly. Gonna go ahead and leave this on the screen for you to watch. Either going to be down $200. I'm thinking about moving this up to the top of that candle. We'll move it up to the top of the candle. Let's mute it and just see what happens. All right, I'm sure it's going to take out the 74 level, but I just went ahead and moved my stop to break even there. That's it. We're done. We're done for the morning. We're going to get ourselves in trouble. So I will see you guys this afternoon at 2 o'clock. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, share it, and we'll see you then.